Well, hey everybody, it's Devin LaVore coming at you, and this morning has turned out terrible. I mean, it started off bad. First off, I am not a morning person, okay? And then, secondly, it's the 18th, so I'm super mega excited about what God could be doing today. And a lot of times, in this morning, all three of my kids, all three of them, were up. And I mean, obviously the baby's in there with Michelle, and he's fine. But all three of them, 4, 6, and 7 years old, they were all awake at like 7:30. 7:30, okay? And I just went ahead and got them out, and that normally means that I am bombarded with questions and issues and things like me. It starts right away. And things have been just high and intense in the spirit, promise from God wise and battle wise and everything. So, I mean, I kind of woke up in a state of intense good stress and bad stress all at the same time. And then I got my kids all waking up. I was like, you guys don't normally get up till 8 or 8:30. Gosh, this is crazy. And I mean, I'm kind of stressing out because I'm like, all right, I got to get the kids breakfast and I got to get all this stuff done. What's God going to do? Is he going to do anything at all? What's going to, I mean, gosh, man, there is a carnival and all kinds of stuff going on in my head and in my heart, really. And I ended up yelling at my daughter, and I felt really bad because I felt like the Lord was telling me, hey, wait, just let it go, and I didn't. And I was just like, "Lil, you guys," and I was like, oh, and I felt horrible, and I was like, I was somewhat already mad at God because it's like, I got online and I did all my, my normal stuff, checking this email, doing this thing and doing that thing, looking to see if there's any kind of, any kind of semblance of something that God's doing. Oh, there's a lead here. Ooh, let me follow the breadcrumb trail. Ooh, it's going to lead to a breakthrough. Nothing. And so I was getting upset. I was getting really mad. And I'm like, wait a second. Hold on. Wait a minute, dude. What time is it? It's 9? Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. It's 9 on the 18th. It's 9 a.m. It's like, you mean you haven't received the miracle and the breakthrough at 9 o'clock and you're already in a tizzy? It's like, bro, for real? Come on now. It's like I had to step out of myself. It's like that TV show Limitless. I don't know if you guys have seen the TV show. I cannot believe they only gave that show 1 season. Unbelievable. I was like, that show was amazing. I liked it anyway. But it's like, he would take the Limitless, like, brain pill that made him real smart. But in addition to that, what came with that were like different manifestations of himself that was talking to himself, giving him different perspectives and all that stuff. It was almost like a little word of knowledge person that was just giving him information. And that's kind of what it was like for me this morning. I had to step outside of myself. There was like a little Limitless Devin standing next to me going, bro, for real? Like, come on. It's like, and I guess just all the excitement and the stress, good and bad, was just getting to me. Not only that, but waking up so early, having the kids get up. I tell you what, my morning is completely different if I have to get up with kids and that constant boom, boom, here we go, boom, boom. You hit the ground running with kids, man. It's difficult, And I had to apologize to my daughter because I just totally went off on her. I mean, not in like a super bad way, but it was just like it hurt her feelings and made her cry. That's enough for me. That's enough to crush me to death, basically. But everything's cool now, but I look at how my morning started and I'm going like, wow, that is jacked up. I was like, oh, well, Lord, I'm sorry, let's move on with the day. I really apologize because it's been rough, You know what we're going through. You know what we went through last night, and then we're kind of in the aftermath of that, And I'm like, okay, so then I get on YouTube and, I just click on my YouTube homepage, right? And there's this video there about a miracle, right? This miracle. I was just like, whoa. miracle. And so I don't know that I've ever seen anything about, oh, this miracle happened or that miracle happened on YouTube, particularly on my homepage that says, oh, we recommend this. It's like I have not looked up any videos about miracles, nothing. It's just, boom, there it is. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I watch it, and this girl, I put it on my Facebook page if you guys want to go watch it. But this girl is crying her eyes out because God used her to basically bring someone back to life who was dying or dead or whatever. It didn't matter. God used her to do an amazing thing. And I tell you what, the lady who received it, she believed. Because she believed. And that was just like, and I just felt like God used that to say, see, I'm still on track, Devin. If you get off track and you have a little moment, let me tell you something. This is the glory of the compassion and kindness of God. Is He's just like, Devin, it was just a little moment. Little moment, that's all. Don't we will condemn ourselves for years over one little moment that we had of failure or weakness. And God's like, it was just a little moment. Come on. Let me show you. And it's funny because on my when I shared the video, I was like, God has taken me on this journey of talking about the feast and the 21 days and the 777 to religious. We really need to focus on this religion thing because that's going to be an issue. To let's talk about miracles now. It's funny because my wife at the beginning of the week talked about this is going to be a week of miracles, and it's like God finished His thing on the religion and spirit of religion and religious people and how people are going to start reacting, and then I started seeing it happen. I started seeing it happen. I lost 5 subscribers in one day. And I guarantee you it was because I was talking about the religious stuff. And that leads me to this tape, this audio podcast that one of my other subscribers sent me through my Facebook page. She is awesome, by the way. And she sent me this thing, and it was about John Piper talking about which is worst, the atheist or the religious person. Which one is the most problem for the gospel? And I think it's religious people. What do you think, John Piper? And John Piper was like, well, I don't really think it's either one of those. But at the same time, he was like, it's both. He was like, listen, you have to understand this. And I'm going to share it with you because I think it really finalizes my whole religion thing and what God has been sharing with me about religion. He said it basically like this. He was like, Jesus is the truth, the way, the truth, and the life. He was directed to the lost sheep of Israel. So he was the tip of the spear of the truth going into this culture that showed them what they were not. They were proclaiming themselves to be something, and he was saying, no, you're actually not that. I am that thing that you say you are, and you're not me. You're nothing like me, but I want to try to make you like me. I want to invite you into my kingdom and show you what it's really like to walk out this thing that you want to walk out. But because the tip of the spear was stabbing them and penetrating their hearts and showing them, their reaction to it was not humility, but offense and pride and see, that's how religious people do. They get prideful and religious, and they unsubscribe to you. They defriend you on Facebook. I've had this happen many times throughout my life. And that's what happens. It's like we have 2 responses. We can either humble ourselves like the man who beat his breast and said, Father, I am not fit to look to heaven, but if you would forgive me. Or we can respond like the Pharisee and be like, well, I just think, whatever. You go sit up on the bench and judge those who are playing. That's what you probably do best. But it's like he said the reason there was opposition there because that's who Jesus was sent to. That's where his realm of ministry was, to the lost sheep of Israel. And then he said something that was most profound because I thought, wow, this is so true what he's saying. He's like, if your ministry that God's going to use for you is going to be placed in the political arena, then there's going to be opposition from political people and their political issues. Because the tip of the spear is going to go into that culture and penetrate the heart of that culture, and it's going to bleed and ooze offense and hurt and pain, because a lot of people live in illusion. Even those people that are trying to tell you that you are living in illusion or believing in delusion for whatever, they're living in it themselves sometimes, especially them, especially religious people. And it's like, wherever the tip of the spear is pointed and it penetrates the heart of that culture or that denomination or that people group or that social agenda or that political agenda, and Jesus says, no, this is wrong. See, people don't like to be told that they're wrong. It pricks their pride, and pride oozes out. You know? It's like, that's where you're going to have opposition. And he summed it up great, because he summed it up so beautifully. And I should share that on my Facebook if I remember to do it. Let me know if you guys want to hear that. But it's John Piper on atheism versus religious people and who's the real enemy. And it's like, everyone's going to be an enemy. It's like the truth. Listen, Jesus himself said, many will not find the truth. A few will. Not because of him, not because of some predestination type thing. You know, Jesus or God predetermined that everyone should come to know the truth. Meaning he decided ahead of time. That's what predetermination means. Meaning I determined ahead of time that I want everyone to know the truth. So I'm going to make provision for that to happen. And I've already decided it before you can decide it. I've decided that I want you to know the truth. Therefore, I'm going to do what I'm going to do so that you can know it. But you have to know it, you know. Many are called, few are chosen. Many seek the truth, few find it. You know, because a lot of times we don't want to overcome our own pride and humble ourselves before God and say, God, you know what, I don't know. You share with me the truth. And stay and walk in that spirit of humility. That's what finds the truth. That's what goes through that's what goes through things properly. You know, those are the kind of hearts that will humble themselves and say, I'm sorry, I messed up, I was wrong. Many people won't do that. The many won't do that. They'll try and justify and defend themselves and all that. It's like in the homosexual culture, you're going to find opposition there because the scripture says homosexuality is wrong. So you're going to have homosexuals rise up and, no, I was born this way and blah, blah, blah. And all of their, you know, that's why Jesus was crucified, because he just kept drilling the religious leaders and religious people and just be like, no, you're wrong. No. I mean, just his lifestyle was an offense to them, because it's like, man, because you know why? Because a lot of times people recognize something and they see that, man, this must be from God, and it hurts them because they recognize that I am not that, and it hurts them. And so how do they respond to the hurt? They respond in anger, and they respond in bitterness, and they respond in justification, or they respond in attack. Or in our American Christianese way, we respond by unsubscribing or defriending or giving the cold shoulder to the person at church or whatever. That's how we do it. But it's like, that's not the humble response, and many people will do that. That's why there's just a ton of opposition everywhere you go. You can't get caught up in the opposition, though. See, and that's one of the things that the Father was teaching me. He's like, you can't get caught up in the opposition, because that can be a trap in and of itself. Trying to minister to those who think that they're trying to minister to you, and it's like, you can't. Just be like, Lord. The Lord reminded me of this vision that a friend of mine's pastor had. And this vision was, he was gathering all these apples in his arms, and he was just so happy. And he was running with these apples in his arms, but some of them kept dropping off. But the Lord was like, don't worry about those. Keep going. Keep running. And he was like, but Lord, I got to go get the apples, and they're dropping off. And he was like, no, don't. Keep running. And what he was showing him was like, there's going to be people that gather into your church, and then they're going to leave, and they're going to drop off. And don't run after them. You know? I mean, and so there's a lot to be said to that, but the Lord was reminding me of that, and he was just saying that's just the truth. You can't be chasing people who don't want to be chased. It's like trying to get that girl or that guy to like you that's clearly just not interested. It's just like, okay, fine. You're trying to make that sale at that company that is not interested in your product. You know what I mean? So we kind of find ourselves in a transition this morning, or at the beginning of something or whatever. The religion stuff's coming to an end. God is transitioning us into this miracles thing and declaring miracles. And man, my last night was just incredible. And so we'll definitely keep you updated on how things are going, because I'm definitely done dealing with the religious stuff, because that really triggers me. And I almost feel like that message was almost like a beginning of a healing for me, really, because I've always been quick to grab my sword and want to unsheath it against religious people, and it's like, whoa, put that back in there. Those are people, you know what I mean? We wrestle not against people, but against the spirit. To take your sword out against the spirit of religion and pray for them, bless them, and it's like all of that, and it's like I feel like I've kind of come to some closure on that, and as I'm coming to closure on that, God is like, okay, let me show you who I am as the miracle worker, and then just miracle stuff just keeps coming to me, miracle this, miracle that, what I mean? That's how God works. That's why people keep seeing numbers, like the 555 or the Shelly L. Oh my gosh, that countdown thing that she got, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One of my other subscribers made a comment that's what they saw, the 3, 2, 1. It was like a countdown. It was like, I feel like we're like right there at the 1, or maybe it's getting ready to change to 0, which is why God's like, I'm putting this miracle thing on you so you can pray it and decree it and declare it and all that stuff. So that's just kind of how God works for those of us who know the Spirit and are chasing after Him and going after every lead in the Spirit and just following Him and getting to know Him, So that's how my day is going so far. And so I will update you when I get my breakthrough, and before that, and after that. So I will see you guys later.